Don't act like you don't get it. We have to be better at everything. Career, marriage, parenting, all of it, because the second we're not the second, you can just see the look on people's faces. Like, oh, of course. I'm not wrong.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying all those people, their opinions, they don't matter to me as much as yours. And I wish they didn't matter to you as much as mine. Because I love you. You sweet, obsessive maniac.
I love you too.
Hey everyone, it's Anthony Allen Ramos. All right, last year, The Christmas House became Hallmark's first ever film to feature prominently a same-sex relationship. And guess what? We've got a sequel, The Christmas House 2, Deck Those Halls, premieres December 18th. And I'm so excited to be chatting with Jonathan Bennett, who is back as Brandon. How you doing?
Hi, Anthony. I'm doing so good. Yes, the Mitchell family is back. You know, it was the first one. The Christmas House was so much fun. Hallmark Channel said, you know what? Let's do it again. Only let's go funnier and let's add more heart and deeper storylines.
So, you know, it's so great that Hallmark, you know, they said they wanted to do this last year, the first one, which really gave way to so many more LGBTQ inclusive holiday films across the networks. But how good does it feel that they said, you know what, we want to do it all over again?
It feels so good. And what I'm really excited about is this new era of Hallmark Channel, where you have people like Wanya and Lisa and Randy heading the network, and it's becoming this, it's just, they're making Christmas for everyone. And Christmas should be for everybody. And now there are more seats at the holiday table, and everyone is able to watch these movies. And the audience that watches Hallmark movies are now reflected in the movies. And I think that's so important, because when we see ourselves in the movies and in these stories, we identify with the characters, and then that's how we have a connection to them, and we feel seen. But what's even cooler about all this is what Hallmark Channel did with The Christmas House 1, because my jacket and my husband in the movies jacket, Brad, who plays Jake, Brad Harder, his jacket, a snow globe, and one of our scripts, I think, are in the Smithsonian archives. We made history with Christmas House 1. Smithsonian archivist Franklin A. Robinson saw the movie. He reached out to us about it because it was so groundbreaking in being the first gay storyline and the first gay kiss in a holiday movie. And so the props and materials are all now being housed in the LGBTQ plus archives as officially part of Smithsonian history that they think is important, which, I mean, come on, how cool is that?
That is incredible. I mean, that's huge. That is a big deal. And I think that's what it was such a moment. And, you know, you talked about people seeing and feeling seen, and representation is so key, which is all about what we do at GLAAD. So let's talk about this part 2. So basically the family comes back together. We all know The Christmas House. And then I don't want to spoil too much, but it ends up being there's some sort of competition series, and it's brother versus brother. I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun. There's a lot of decorating involved.
Yeah. So what's great about this, the second Christmas House 2, Deck Those Halls, is the entire family comes back to the Christmas house for the holidays, and they all they're not going to do the Christmas house this year. There's too many things going on. And what's something that's a real storyline that's happening in our movie that I think a lot of people will relate to is, in these big families, you start creating smaller families inside that. And so my husband, Jake, and I have our 2 kids now, and we come back, and our plan really isn't to hang out with the whole family the whole time. We want to start our new traditions with our own little family, but we also want to keep the whole family happy, right? So I think a lot of people are going to identify with this, because as LGBTQ families grow and we start having kids, and we're starting to grow our own families, we have to learn what our new traditions look like in the scope of the bigger traditions from your giant family. And I think the movie does such a great job of touching on that, where you want to keep everyone happy, but start your own traditions.
Right.
And the whole family comes back. We're going to try to do our own little thing, me and my husband and our kids. And then we end up getting roped into a Christmas light decorating competition reality show. And so it's brother versus brother, because Robert Buckley, who plays my brother in the movie, he and I have such great chemistry, and they really did a great job of monopolizing on the like brotherly war between the two that happens in real families. Like I know a lot of people out there that have siblings can identify, there's always a little bit of a competition between your siblings in your family. And so what better place to have that competition than in a reality show series on the main stage? And so
yes,
it's so many, there's so many layers to it. And I think that's what Hallmark Channel did such a great job of portraying in The Christmas House 2, is a real life modern family in 2021. This is what a family in 2021 looks like. And they aren't perfect. They're not, you know, there's quirks to each of the characters, and there's quirks to what it's like to live in 2021. You know, the Instagram, social media, all the things that happen that we're all dealing with right now. Hallmark Channel did a great job of portraying those quirks in this Mitchell family. And it just makes the audience fall in love with the Mitchell family even more. And what you see is that as much as they want to throw the perfect Christmas, there's no such thing as the perfect Christmas. It just doesn't exist. But in all those trials and tribulations and all the things that you have to overcome at the holidays and figure out at the holidays, through all those quirks, that's what makes it beautiful. Because perfect doesn't exist, but you can have a beautiful Christmas.
It is. So, and it is a fine line, you're right, of wanting to do new traditions, but, you know, do the ones that your family's always done. But I got to ask, like, you know, you got to play a husband in this role again. You know, we know obviously you and Jaymes are engaged, on your way to the, you know, wedded bliss. Do you feel like you got practice on being the perfect husband, or was it, you know, tell me about that.
Yeah, well, if you ask Jaymes. So, you know, I think what this movie did was, I think it's a great time when life imitates art. Mm-hmm. And so my real life, we're trying to get ready for the wedding. We're trying to do all this, these amazing things for the LGBTQ plus community we want to do. And we want to move the needle forward, not just with these Christmas movies, but with the wedding industry. And we're doing so many big things. And so I get lost in it a lot of times, and I'll forget things. I'll have to be reminded. And Jaymes does such a great job of keeping me on track, because he's like, you know, you're so scattered because we have so many, you know, pokers in the fire that we have to really keep an eye on everything. This happened in real life on set the day before I'm supposed to shoot the big scene with me and Robert Buckley. I thought that scene was being shot 2 days later.
Oh no.
I'm with Brad, who plays my husband, and he goes, you know, your big scene with Rob is tomorrow, right? And I was like, no, that's not till Thursday. He's like, no, look at the schedule, it's tomorrow. And I had an oversight and I didn't look at the schedule correctly, and he was right. And so I had a complete meltdown. I tell Jaymes, what does Jaymes do? Jaymes calls Brad and is like, Brad, and he goes, don't worry, I got him. Like, they are working in tandem as like TV husband and real life husband. And he goes, I know how to handle him. Don't worry. And Jaymes is like, yeah, you do. That's right. Okay. He's like, you got to sit him down. You got to get him focused, get him like a Diet Coke or something, and put him in one place where he'll focus on his script and learn all of his lines. And so that's what Brad did. He took me to dinner. It was like, okay, we have both of our scripts. We're going to run the whole thing until you can't not know it. You're going to know it backwards and forwards. And we sat there for like 2.5 hours. And by the time we left dinner, I knew the whole thing. So I would say this, I am lucky that I have such a wonderful fiance in real life and such a wonderful TV husband that both work together to handle the crazy that is Jonathan Bennett.
Partners in crime. I love that. So where are we at with the wedding planning? Because are we still in the beginning? Are we the middle, or is it home stretch? I know we've got a lot of ideas, and obviously we love seeing you on the cover of The Knot. Also, like you said, making history. I mean, is it home stretch, or what are we thinking?
We are almost to about the 100 days mark out from the wedding. We have a lot planned. We're really excited we're going to be getting married at Unico Resort in Mexico, which is just a fabulous resort that is so diverse and so inclusive. and they just support the community so much. And so we're really proud to be getting married there. And we actually are going to be launching a campaign at the beginning of the year in conjunction with our wedding, because from the moment we got engaged and realized that the wedding industry really isn't where we think it is when it comes to you know, LGBTQ plus weddings. It's just not. The industry is still very homophobic. It's still very just dated, and the traditions don't hold up. The things that we think we're supposed to do, we're like, I mean, Jaymes and I are finding ourselves, why do we have to do that? That doesn't even make sense for us. So our wedding is going to be about creating a space that the LGBTQ plus community can go to, where they're going to feel safe and they're going to feel celebrated. So we're going to launch our Safe and Celebrated campaign in the new year with some really big partners to help kind of open up the wedding industry to conversations and showing people in the community where you can go to from engagement to honeymoon if you want to feel safe and celebrated, because you deserve to feel safe and celebrated during this entire process, because all the straight couples do. There's not you know, a bride to be that walks into a store and doesn't say, I'm getting married, and everyone at the store freak out and go, oh my gosh, let's help you pick it out. There's not a moment that doesn't happen for them, and there shouldn't be a moment that doesn't happen for us. And we found a lot of times that there are those moments that aren't happening. And so we want to really create a resource for people to go to where they know, here's the vendors, here's the places you can walk into, and you're going to feel safe and you're going to feel celebrated for this entire journey because you deserve it.
That is so great. I cannot wait to see how that all comes together. I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful day. You know, I was just thinking.
We're going to focus on the engagements.
Engagements. Like that. I never thought, wait, what a world, what a time to be alive. The Mean Girls universe. You are engaged. Lindsay Lohan is engaged. I mean.
Unbelievable. Yes. So I texted her and I said, when I found out Lindsay was engaged, I texted her and I said, I love you. I'm so damn happy for you. We did it, girlfriend. We found our men. It's just such a funny world that, like, Lindsay and I are like kissing in a movie years ago. It became part of pop culture. And then now I'm out and I'm proud and I'm engaged to my fiance. She's engaged to her fiance. I think that's a TV show. Is this show like me and Lindsay figuring out our wedding? I don't know what it is, but there's something fun there. And it's just, I'm so happy for her because the smile, if you've seen the wedding photos, the engagement photos, the smile in her eyes in a few of those photos where she's excited and holding her like hoodie up. Yeah. That is the same smile I remember from when 17-year-old Lindsay was just this, like, just so happy. And that's the same genuine smile I remember from like 17-year-old Lindsay when she was just genuinely happy. And so it's really beautiful to see her smiling like that. And it's just like, oh, that's a real smile. Like, that's how I know it's the real deal, because I'm like, that smile's real. I know that smile.
I'm excited for this next chapter for her. I'm so glad that you said that, you know, she seems so happy, and, you know, and the two of you plan, like, I would sign up for that show, whatever it is. So, I mean. Or
I was like, when do Lindsay and I do a Christmas movie together where we play brother and sister? That's the question. That's the bigger question.
Hallmark, you hear that? We just gave you your next idea.
We have to come up with all the ideas, Anthony. Really, leave it to the gays to just come up with all the ideas. Hello.
You know, thinking about JoJo Siwa, you know, just making it to the finals on Dancing with the Stars, you obviously danced back in the day. Did you get a chance to see that and really, I mean, you know, it was a big moment in the show's history to see JoJo say, I want to dance with another girl, and she did it, and she made it to the finals.
What a time to be alive, huh? Yeah. Like, the fact that, I mean, JoJo Siwa was in the finals for Dancing with the Stars, dancing with a girl. Lindsay Lohan is engaged. Aaron Samuels is gay, out, and getting married and doing a Christmas movie. This is the world we dreamed about when like in 2002. You know, this is what we dreamed about, and it's happening. And it's just, obviously we have so far to go, but also this is what we've worked for. And two, I really want to say this, it's not just this generation, you know, like I'm so in the somewhere in the late 30s, we'll go with, not really, but it's not just the work this generation did. It's the work of the generations before us. They are the reason I can be out and proud with my fiance and do a gay Hallmark movie, play a gay character in a Hallmark Christmas movie, and JoJo Siwa can dance with another girl on the biggest network in the world. Like, it's the work the people that have done before us. And I think if you're a young queer person and you're watching this, please, I beg you, when you see the older generation of LGBTQ plus people, realize when you see them at a bar, when you see them sitting there talking or having dinner, don't be quick to pass judgment or to tease or mock or make fun of in any way, because those people are the one that did the work. So you can be who you are and live your life publicly and out and with tons of pride. Like, we didn't have that. And the oldest generation of LGBTQ plus people right now definitely didn't have that. They're the ones that set the stage for us. So make sure the respect is given to those that deserve it.
Absolutely. Who was that person for you? Who kind of gave you that kind of inspiration and strength?
This is silly, but well, it's not silly. There were two people that I met when I was a young theater gay in Ohio. And I would go to New York City because on TV, none, there wasn't. But in person, in the theater world, that's where I realized I met two people when I was like in 8th grade going to see shows in New York. I met Nathan Lane.
Yeah.
And just said hi and got a picture with him. But observing him just being his fabulous, authentic self at dinner with some friends, we're at the same restaurant we were at, just made me realize, oh, wow. Oh, he can just be that. He can just be himself in like public, like at a restaurant in New York City in Times Square. Oh, wow. That's crazy. I want to be able to do that. That was the first time I had seen like an adult just living their most fabulous life and not caring about what anyone thought. And that was the first time it hit. The second time was Leah Delaria, who I just did Potato Dreams of America, a movie with. Leah Delaria and I did a movie together, but I met her when I was like a late teenager in New York City. And to see how unapologetically herself she was really inspired me.
I love that. Thank you.
Nathan Lane and Leah Delaria, the gayest sentence I've ever said. Like, amazing.
I love that sentence. Well, Jonathan, we're very excited for the Christmas House 2, Deck Those Halls, December 18th on Hallmark, everyone. That's a Saturday before Christmas. That's fabulous. Have we thought about, could there be a part 3? What would happen?
I'm so proud of the Hallmark Channel and the commitment they have to really great storytelling that is fueled by love and heart. And then when you fuel the stories with love and heart, all the humor can happen around it, and it's warranted and it's earned. And so what I think they did such a great job of with the Mitchell family is making them a real family that people can identify with. And I think the fans are going to fall even more in love with the Mitchells, and they're going to become even more of a staple at the Hallmark Channel. And I think for sure we will be seeing the Mitchells again. Hopefully, I don't know this for sure, but I think it's a definite possibility. So we'll see.
Well, we would love that. Jonathan, we love the Mitchells. We love you. Thank you for the time. Yeah. Congrats on the film. And just a reminder, everyone, The Christmas House 2, Deck Those Halls, will premiere December 18th on Hallmark Channel. So be sure and tune in. And good luck with the rest of the wedding planning. I can't wait to see the fabulousness that it will be.
I got to go polish my ring. All right.
Yeah.